I'm Rob for Pitcher Healer, and today we're going to talk a little bit about tea. In the book that we just put out, Chinese Herbal Tea, I talk a little bit about the different types of teas that we have. Now, that just doesn't include herbal teas, it includes the regular teas as well. So I had 4 different types of teas involved. I had white tea, green tea, black oolong tea, and black tea. Now I organize them this way because we kind of talk about using the tea for a specific season. So white tea and green tea are good for the summer. Green tea is good for more of the morning, and the white tea is better for the afternoon. And the reason being is because the green tea is a little more stimulating. I'm not going to say that it has more caffeine, but it just makes you have to go to the bathroom a little bit more. So you obviously don't want to go to the bathroom at night. So the white tea is a bit it's a bit lighter in that sense, and you can also mix it with a couple of other fruits or something to give it a nice taste. But white tea in itself already has a nice fruity taste. Green tea you can always mix with something like mint or some other item that's also cooling. I mean, green tea and watermelon, green tea and plum. Green tea and plum is especially well known for clearing out heat in the summer. So oolong is a good tea to take in the fall. It's slightly warming and it's good for digestion. It helps you keep the blood circulating inside the body. You could use it with a couple of other herbs like cinnamon and orange, something to make it so that it warms you up a little bit, but you can also mix it with chrysanthemum, which is also a fall flower, or even some other type of flower to give it just a nicer flavor. Then we have black tea, which is really used just in the fall. Now black tea and red tea are the same thing in Chinese teas. We just say black tea because that's kind of how it looks. After you cook it, it actually turns a bit reddish. Now, once again, this is something that you use in the winter, so you're going to use some type of winter herbs with it. Again, you have cinnamon, you have nutmeg, you have, you can use orange as well, mandarin orange specifically, because that's when it's in season. And it gives it a nice, I guess it's a holiday taste. Everybody uses it during the holiday. So what do all these 4 teas have in common? Well, caffeine. And some people want to drink tea that doesn't have caffeine. So what we did is we picked our favorite 4 types of herbs that you can use as a tea, but it doesn't have caffeine in it. So the first one we have is sangye, or the mulberry leaf. Now, this is actually a common drink in China. And again, it's nice because it doesn't have caffeine, but it does taste like actual tea. It's a nice alternative when you want to have something like tea, but you don't have anything available. And it's actually very funny because you can probably find a mulberry tree right outside in your backyard. Strangely enough, we do. Now, mulberry leaf is cooling. It helps to what we call release the exterior, which means that it helps to kind of vent or open up the pores so that you can release the heat from inside the body. Some people use it for colds. They use it for when they get a cold during the summer. Next we have Gui Hua, which is the chrysanthemum flower. This usually comes out in the fall, but it's actually good for colds that happen in the fall. They also use this in conjunction with sangye. There's actually a formula, sanjuyin, and it's used for colds in Chinese medicine. Next we have Osmanthus, which is also called Gui Hua, and this is a nice fragrant fruity tea that is actually very good for the spring and as well as the fall. This is a type of tea that you can mix with other type of regular teas to give it a different flavor. For example, one of the teas that I like to have is I like to have Gui Hua mixed with white tea. It gives it a nice airy aromatic flavor. And lastly, we have Mei Gui Hua, which is also the rosebud. The nice part about the rosebud is it's a calming herb. You can use it to relax, you can use it to de-stress. And one of the added features that it has is it helps to invigorate the blood a little bit. That just basically means that if you're sitting down too long, or you're straining a lot while you're trying to work, this can help relieve the strain a little bit. An extra tea that you can also make is a mint tea. We call this boha in Chinese. And it's very good for the throat, it's very good for the eyes, it's very good for any type of hot day. And you can also mix this with some of the other herbs that we spoke about before. You can mix it with chrysanthemum, you can mix it with the mulberry leaf, you can also mix it with some of the other teas. I mean, many people actually have mint green tea. So one of the questions that were asked of me is, how is the tea if you do it differently? For example, what does the tea taste differently if it's hot than if you try to make iced tea out of it? What's the best method that you can use? What's safe? And one of the interesting things that I looked at was the caffeine count. And there's a few things online that state that if you make iced tea, it actually has less caffeine than if you actually steep it in hot water. And through some of the research that I looked at, strangely enough, from all the 4 teas, green tea, oolong tea, and black tea, all have less caffeine if you try to brew it as an iced tea than if you would if you used it in hot water. And this is just the way that the tea is actually made. It just is able to extract more caffeine in hot water. However, what was also interesting was white tea, when you brew it as an iced tea, has 2 to 3 times more caffeine than if you use it in hot water. So if you're going to make iced tea and you want to have something that's actually better for the summer and something with less caffeine, it's better to stick with green, oolong, or black tea. So to make the cold tea inside of the refrigerator, they say it's best to have a tea bag with about 2 grams of herbs, and you want to have 2 of these per quart of water. This is more of an American standard. I was reading online that the cold iced tea is actually very popular in Taiwan right now, and they actually use double the amount of tea bags per quart. So if you want to have something that's a more, authentic experience, it's a lot of tea bags, but I also think that it will be ready quicker because of how much tea is actually inside whatever pitcher of water that you have. With hot tea, and you probably notice magically that this keeps getting lower and lower because I'm drinking it as we go along. I like these coffee presses because all I have to do is just throw a couple of, just a couple of leaves in. Like this one is, as I said, my favorite. This has the white tea and the Mei Gui Hua inside of it. And all I did was throw it inside the coffee press, throw some hot water in it, and I let it sit for, 2-3 minutes. And this is all of 1 cup. So I can still keep adding water to this and it'd still be strong enough after about 3 or 4 refills. But it's a very easy way to make the tea. Now generally you don't want to keep it steeping too long, because if you do, then it just becomes very bitter. It becomes stronger, harsher tasting. So again, everybody has different tastes when it comes to tea. Same with coffee. Some people like it black, some people like it with a lot of sugar, some people like it with a lot of milk, some people like more milk than coffee actually. But again, everybody's tastes are different. So I hope you enjoyed this little primer on tea and which types of tea have caffeine, which types don't. And I hope you actually try some of these out because they're actually very good. If you're interested in reading more, you can see my book on Amazon, Chinese herbal tea. And if you have any comments, just leave them in the place below. Thank you.